High Noon stream here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. The High Noon stream is all about topics, current events, trends, whatever it is that's happening. Hold on, sorry. I'm trying to get situated here. Anything that's happening today, we're going to run it through. I'm going to give you a hot take on it, and then we're going to move on to the next subject. By the end of the next 90 minutes to 120 minutes to 2 hours plus, whatever it takes to get through everything that's happening today. By the end of it, I promise you'll at least have some fair idea of what it is that everybody out there is talking about today, because that's the point of this show. We do 2 streams a day. We do this one at noon, which is all about topics. And then we come back at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do something we call Pillow Talk. That's myself and James Parker. It's Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Let's see here. Jeff. I slept late today. I don't know. This seems to be a thing now. Whenever my kid isn't with me, my kid's not with me this week because he's elsewhere. I don't know what happened. I slept till 10:45 today. 10:45 in the morning. That is pretty late. Typically, I wake up at around 8:30. Wake up at 8:30, let the dog out, make some coffee, start prepping the show, all of that stuff. Luckily, last night I did a whole bunch of the prep, so I don't know. But yeah, that explains why we're just a little bit late here. We're almost always going to be 3 or 4 minutes late. As I was taught as a young showman, no. The curtains don't open at the same time it says it on the ticket. Wait, there's actually a better way. Somebody said that to me once that I thought was some about, what did he say? Some about the curtains don't open at this time it says on the ticket. I don't know, something about that. Anyway, it's all right to be a little bit late when you're doing a live show. It builds the anticipation. Although I try to be on time. It's just sometimes, it's the long walk from the other room into this room that today was just an oversleeping. All right, so let's get into what today is. We've got Leslie in the chat. Everybody come on, let's go. Chime in the chat room. Let me see who's here in the chat room. I need to see everybody. I need to know who we're talking to. Right now, the only people in the chat room talking are Leslie. Good afternoon, Leslie. Good afternoon, Byron. Good afternoon, Jeff. Folks, what do you say we start today's show out with a little round of what we like to call here on the High Noon Show, Heat Wave Poker. All right, I'm just interested in how hot it is around here. So here's how Heat Wave Poker works. We all take out our phones and we all refresh just to see what the current temperature is wherever we are. High score wins. I set the pace. I would be the house. So I'm going to show a high of, let's see here, 99 degrees in Highland Park, Texas. There we go. Heat Wave Poker. 99 degrees in Highland Park, Texas. What do we got? We got 93 in North Richland Hills. 6 degrees cooler out there in Fort Worth. Look at that. All right, come on. Who else? Let's see what else we got. 95 in Richardson. 95 in Rockwall. 93 in Richland Hills. 78 in the cornfields of Iowa, says Jeff. Oh, that is nice. It's going to be over 100 again today. It's already 99 degrees. All right, do we have it? Can anything beat? Let me update this again, because how is it that it's always hotter in Highland Park? All right, so I'm updating again. Yeah, we're at 99. I just updated it again. So we are a double confirmed 99 here in Highland Park. Jeff says, my computer says 93, but my Alexa says 96. Nagadochis, Joe, he's checking in at 90. Jennifer in South Lake is at 93. Yeah, okay. It still looks like Highland Park is the high. It looks like the Heat Wave Poker winner for this end is going to be Highland Park, Texas at 99 degrees. Not anything I want to win, but it is hot. It was hot yesterday. For a couple of days over the weekend, I think I forgot about how freaking hot it is every single day. And it just sort of, water sought its own level, and it just kind of became what it is when you go outside. Oh, yeah, it's hot, and I stopped noticing it. Yesterday, I noticed it again. I'm like, God, what is happening here? Why is it just constantly like God is holding a hairdryer over? Why is it just you walk outside and it's just like, it's hot as hell. I can't take it. Fast Outdoor Foods clocking in with a 99 in Oak Cliff. Okay, that makes sense because that's sort of a little bit closer than some of the other places I've mentioned. We got 97 in Mesquite. We got 96 in, I don't know, wherever that is, wherever Jeff is. All right, let's get into what today is. Let's run you down. Let's get you all prepped up on all the things that are happening today. We do this without any, without trying to be divisive. We do this without trying to, know us and them bullshit. Well, that's divisive. That's divisive. You're just talking in circles. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Schizophrenic Me is making his first appearance in a couple of days. Schizophrenic Me is the voice in my head. He yells shit out to me whenever I have a good idea. He tells me I'm a failure and not to pursue it. That's my old pal. Let's get into what today is. It's high noon for the 9th day of August, year of our Lord 2022. It's August 9th, the 221st day of the year, people. Come on, 144 days remaining until the end of the year. Again, those New Year's Eve plans, you people. I just once want to call and response. I just once want to go. So as we say around here, but I can't because we don't do live shows. All right, so let's get into what this day in history is all about. For those of you wondering, well, why is today so cool? On this day in 1892, Thomas Edison. Thomas, Thomas Edison there. Thomas Edison receives a patent for a two-way telegraph. What's that? One of them bridge inventions? You know the inventions the things you invent in order to at some point down the road invent something off of that invention, and then something gets invented of. Because we don't have two-way telegraphs. That's not a thing. We have texting now. But anyway, on this day in 1892, Thomas Edison received a patent for a two-way telegraph. On this day, that was 1892. On this day in 1907, the first Boy Scout encampment concludes. The Boy Scouts, the first one, Boy Scouts, America, the beautiful Boy Scouts, all about America. Boy Scouts, not American. No, they're not. The first one was in England, Southern England. The Boy Scouts. So I guess that's why they call it the Boy Scouts of America. If it was just the Boy Scouts in America, then it would just be the Boy Scouts. But apparently, the Boy Scouts are one of them commie British things. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know the Boy Scouts. I didn't know that the Boy Scouts were a British thing. I don't know. I was always thrown by, the jingoism and, the American rah-rah propaganda of the Boy Scouts. I always just thought it was an American thing. It ain't. It's a British thing. And on this day, they did their first Boy Scouts camping trip. In England, it's an English thing. 1944, the United States Forest Service and the Wartime Advertising Council released posters featuring Smokey the Bear for the first time. Happy birthday, Smokey the Bear! It's great. That's not Smokey the Bear. I don't know. What did Smokey the Bear say? I just did Tony the Tiger. My anthropomorphic cartoon animals are all getting congealed in my head. What did Smokey the Bear say? Hey, Dick, throw out your trash. What did Smokey the Bear have something that he said? What did he say? Jeff Ballard says, now it's just Scouts of America because it's supposedly sexist that girls can't do boy things in the Girl Scouts. I don't know about that. I know Smokey the Bear had, I could Google it. Only you can prevent forest fires. Thank you, folks. It was in the head. I couldn't find it. And then I somehow worked it through and it just popped. Smokey the Bear says only you can prevent forest fires. Thank you. Jen Hernandez knows. Sort of. She got it, kind of. So that was it on this day. Smokey the Bear was born. On this day in 1969. Ooh, I know a lot about this. I've seen a lot of like documentaries about this. I have read a couple books on this. Ooh, I was obsessed with this when I was younger, high school, college. On this day in 1969, the Tate LaBianca murders. Followers of Charles Manson murder pregnant actress Sharon Tate, wife of Roman Polanski, coffee heiress Abigail Folger, Polish actor Wojciech Frykowski, men's hairstylist Jay Sebring, and recent high school graduate Stephen Parent. The Manson murders. They murdered Sharon Tate, the movie actress, on this day. Big deal. Big news coming out of Hollywood on this day in 1969. Let's see here. 1974, as a direct result of the Watergate scandal, Richard Nixon becomes the first president of the United States to resign from office. Vice President Gerald Ford becomes president on this day in 1974. That's a big one. There's a couple of big ones, right? That's the Tate LaBianco murders, the Manson murders, and then a couple of years later, the president resigns on this day. Here's another big one, a little bit more recent times. Holy cow! This was 6, 7. This is 8 years ago today. 8 years ago today, almost a decade ago. Feeling old, people. People, are you feeling old when I tell you that it was 8 years ago today that Michael Brown, an 18-year-old African-American male in Ferguson, Missouri, is shot and killed by a Ferguson police officer after reportedly assaulting the officer and attempting to steal his weapon, sparking protests and unrest in the city? 8 years ago, the Ferguson situation popped up. That was this summer. It was summer, now that I think about it. 8 years ago, man. If you just said to me, 2 hours ago before I put this list together, if you just said to me, when was Ferguson riots? I'd go, I don't know, 2019. And then I'd go like, well, no, wait a second. Was it just before? Yeah, that's it. It was the summer just before the pandemic, because that's what we've had. As far as I think of recent history here in America, I think of riots, pandemic, shootings. That's like how I think of like recent American history. 8 years ago, that is shocking to me. It was on this day in 2014 that the Ferguson situation popped off with the killing or the shooting. However, I don't care. I don't want to be divisive. Michael Brown. There you go. That happened on this day. Was it a convenience store? I don't know, man. I don't even know. Here we are 8 years later, and my idea of what happened in that situation has been so polluted by everything coming from every direction. No, he did this. No, he was just a victim. No, but you just shot and killed an innocent kid. Man, I don't know. And you know what? I don't want to go back into it. I don't want to personally relitigate the whole Michael Brown situation. So we'll just move on. I forgot. Let's get into some birthdays. Birthdays are fun. We celebrate birthdays here on this show. We like to celebrate the people who have made impacts on our lives. Born on this day in 1942. Here's a guy who's made a big impact on my life. I always liked this guy. From the time that I was a little kid, there was something peaceful about him. There was just something that I enjoyed about his entire vibe, his entire presentation. I didn't really think he was funny because he was an intellectual comic, back in the 1970s when I was watching him. But for some reason, I always enjoyed whenever I saw David Steinberg. David Steinberg is celebrating a birthday today. Now, as I said, I always just kind of liked him. I didn't get his comedy because he did like really smart, sophisticated comedy. And I was just a kid. But as I said, I liked this whole vibe. I liked his conversational style whenever he was on the Tonight Show or anything like that. And I'll tell you this, there is a documentary that was released about the life of David Steinberg. And if you like comedy, if you like especially if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, and David Steinberg was so influential behind the scenes with comedy as a writer, as a producer, as a creator, as a mentor to like young comedians. There is a documentary. It's called Quality Balls. Quality balls. Like quality, like that's a quality, quality balls, like testicles. It's about David Steinberg. And that's something that I want to say. It was Mel Brooks who hung around David Steinberg's neck when he was young. David Steinberg made a joke in a writing room, and Mel Brooks said, "My God, that kid's got quality balls." Like, good. So such a good documentary about David Steinberg and where he came. Happy birthday to him. Is he still alive? I hope he is. Born in 1942. Canadian actor, director, producer, screenwriter, David Steinberg, born on this day in 1944, 2 years older than David Steinberg. And I swear to God, I would think this guy was much older than David Steinberg, but he's not. American icon, American treasure. That's right, American treasure, you sons of bitches. Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott, the mustache, the man who, regardless of whether or not mustaches were in and out of fashion's favor of the moment, Sam Elliott rocked a mustache since 1970. Sam Elliott has been wearing I love Sam Elliott. Who doesn't love Sam Elliott? Sam Elliott, happy birthday to you. Born on this day in 1944. Like the last cowboy, right? He's the last cowboy actor. Who else is a cowboy actor? Like who else is the quintessential modern cowboy actor? You're doing a movie where you got to put a dude in a cowboy hat. You want Sam Elliott, right? So who else? Who else is a cowboy actor that's left? There are no cowboy actors left. Sam Elliott. Happy birthday to you, Sam Elliott. Born on this day in 1957, Melanie Griffith, American actress and producer. She is the daughter of Tippi Hedren, right? From the Birds. Isn't that who her mom? Yeah, that's her mom. Her mom is Tippi Hedren. Melanie Griffith, born into a Hollywood family. Melanie Griffith has like a weird, if you like look at her like teen years, she was a little bit wild. She was like 15 when she ran off with like a much older Don Johnson, like in the 70s. And then they Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson in the 70s had like this hot relationship. And then they broke up for like a bunch of times because they weren't famous yet. They broke up and they went off and they tried to get their career started. And they both got their career started. And then they hooked back up. And then Dakota Johnson, right? And when they rehooked up in the 80s, Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, they had Dakota Johnson, the actress now. And then they got divorced because that's what happens. You get divorced in Hollywood. And she hooked up with Antonio Banderas, and they've been together forever. I think, right? Isn't that who Antonio Banderas is with? Melanie Griffith? I don't know, whatever. Happy birthday, Melanie Griffith. You seem cool. You seem fine. I don't really have a hot take on Melanie Griffith either way. I'm not like, a new Melanie Griffith movie? Ooh, we got to see that. Yeah, I'm not like that. But I'm like, okay, cool. It's got Melanie Griffith's in it. That's cool. That's pretty much my take on Melanie Griffith. I don't care. Born on this day in 1963. Another American treasure. An American lie. This was an American lie. I mean, you ever want to just... There was a situation the other day where I was mentioning that in your real life, I've had occasion through all of the years in radio and working in media and all that kind of stuff to meet a number of famous people, a number of celebrated folk. And somebody said to me once, very early on, and I don't even remember who it was, but it was somebody that I liked, that I met in an interview type situation, in a media situation. And I walked away from it and I said to somebody, I go, man, that sucks. I like that dude. That dude is a dick. I thought that dude was cool. That guy turns out to be a real a-hole. You see the way he's talking to his assistants? You see the way he's acting? I really thought that. And this person said to me, he goes, hey, Pugs, you never want to meet Superman without his cape. Think about that. You never want to meet Superman without his cape because you're always going to be disappointed. And I'm like, wow, isn't that true? So it's like from that point forward, I stopped thinking that these people were nice people and just waiting until I see how they treat their assistants or waitresses or whatever, just observing how they act around people. Whitney Houston was kind of an example of the great American lie of Superman without his cape, because Whitney Houston, when she first came on the scene, she was presented as this, it was the era of Madonna. There was Madonna, and everybody was sort of going in this hypersexual sort of way with slutty dress and all of that. And then Whitney Houston bursts on the scene, and she's wearing like little skirts and she's little fuzzy sweaters, and she's all covered up. She's irrefutably gorgeous. I mean, you can see like a young Whitney Houston, and you're like, oh my God, she is gorgeous. If they totally wanted to slut her out, like if they wanted to turn her into like Madonna, they could probably do some things, but they didn't. They went the other direction. They went with the sweet, all-American girl next door kind of vibe for Whitney Houston. And then when she hooked up with Bobby Brown, we were like, what? That doesn't fit with the image that she is supposed to be a good girl. She is supposed to be, well, as we learned, Whitney Houston was not the image that they crafted for her. Whitney Houston loved her cocaine. Whitney Houston loved her late night, all night parties. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a a spirited person, being somebody who enjoys the socializing and the partying. But it's just that the idea of Whitney Houston was that, she was a Christian. She came from the church. She was a good girl and she didn't sleep around. And she wasn't promiscuous. She wasn't overly sexual. She was Whitney Houston. And then years go by and we learn, oh my God, Whitney was crazy. Whitney was a party girl. Whitney loved her drugs. And it wasn't, we all went, that Bobby Brown just took Whitney Houston from being this nice girl and turned her into just another. No, I don't think that's what happened. I think they met each other. I think they met each other and went, ooh, we're both incredibly reckless individuals. Let's fall in love. And that's what you had. But because we all knew that Bobby Brown was kind of a bad guy, right? That was his image. He was the scary one. What was he in? He wasn't in New Kids on the Block. New Edition? Is that where Bobby Brown came from? Yeah. So he was like one of the scary guys. He was like the tough, the one you didn't want to cross. So when he hooked up with Whitney Houston, it was like, what? Turns out. Anyway, on this day, 1963, Whitney Houston was born. On this day, 1964, Brett Hull, Canadian-American ice hockey player and manager. I remember Brett Hull here with the Stars. I remember when he was made Ambassador of Fun. Remember they made Brett Hull the Ambassador of Fun for the Stars about 15 years ago. Is he still linked in with the Stars organization, or has he moved on? See, I don't know if he's still around. Anyway, Brett Hull, happy birthday to you. Hoda Kotb, also born on this day in 64. Hoda Kotb, she's a umbilical cousin to Brett Hull. I don't know where Hoda Kotb came from. Hoda Kotb's famous. I don't know where she came from, though. Usually when someone gets famous for something, you see the trajectory. Like, you're like, oh, yeah. She started out doing news on the Today Show. Oh, yeah. She was one of the hosts of Entertainment Tonight before she became that. I don't know where Hoda Kotb came from. Just all of a sudden, there was a person named Hoda Kotb who I had to pay attention to. It's her birthday, though. Hoda Kotb. Happy birthday, Hoda Kotb, American journalist and television personality. What does she do? She does Hoda in, like, doesn't she do? She does like a morning show, right? Does she still do the morning show with Kathie Lee Gifford? Is Kathie Lee Gifford still alive? Oh my God, I don't know. Is Kathie Lee Gifford still alive? I'm going with yes. I'm going to say that, yeah, Kathie Lee Gifford is still alive, but she could be dead. Anyway, happy birthday, Hoda Kotb. I don't know what you're doing, but I know you're famous, and I don't know why. Born on this day in 1966, Vinny Del Negro, American basketball player and coach. Born on this day in 1967, Deion Sanders, American football player and baseball player. Deion Sanders. Can we stop down and talk about Deion Sanders? Is he a good guy or a bad guy? I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I fancy myself as somebody who can size someone up. Like, over the past few years, I've said this a bunch of times. Over the past few years, I can't believe how many people can't spot a con. It's just become so clear to me that people can't tell when they're being manipulated or lied to by arch manipulators, by arch cons. It's amazing to me. It is amazing. P.T. Barnum said a sucker's born every minute. And I was always like, yeah, it's a bit of an over-exaggeration. It's not. It is clear to me that there are a lot of people who believe whatever the hell they want to believe about somebody. And Deion Sanders seems to have a bit of that con man in him. I've never really taken anything that Deion Sanders says to be truthful. He's always struck me as being a little bit, what's going on with Deion? What's Deion's ulterior motive here? Anyway, happy birthday, Deion. You seem like a fun guy. Like, Deion, you seem like a guy. Hey, you want to go to Deion Sanders' party? Yeah, I'll go to Deion Sanders' party. Hey, you want to go on a really long car trip with Deion Sanders where it's just you and him in the back seat? Fuck no. No, that I don't want to do. I'll go to Deion Sanders' party, but he seems like he'd be a handful. If it was just me and him having to share space and time together, it doesn't seem like I'd get a whole lot out of that. It seems like it would pretty much be all about Deion. So happy birthday, Deion. Born on this day in 1968. Let's see here. Is this 68? 68. Gillian Anderson, American-British actress, activist, and writer. Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson from The X-Files. Wasn't she? Was she Agent Mulder? No. No, it was Fox Mulder. Fox Mulder was the name. It wasn't Agent Fox and Mulder. I forgot her name from X-Files, but that's where she popped off from. Gillian Anderson popped off from the X-Files, and she has kind of she has kind of amassed a resume of just smack you in the mouth performances that are just like, that's the chick from X-Files? Really? Anyone who saw The Crown, I want to say it was season 3 of The Crown, where Gillian Anderson played Margaret Thatcher. Oh my God. Oh my God, was she great? And then there's something else that I recently saw where she, you know what it is? Oh, it's that stupid show that stupid, and it's a stupid Showtime show. Oh my God, it is so not worth your time. Showtime had a series just a couple of months back called The First Ladies. It was a series about, life in the White House, being a first lady. And it looked like it was good. Turned out to be really boring, really dumb, really just bleh. Gillian Anderson played Eleanor Roosevelt. And she was one of the highlights. She was like, wow, she was great. She was great. So happy birthday, Gillian Anderson. Turns out I think you're a really good actress. You really are a good actress. Happy birthday. Born on this day in 1968. Another guy, good actor. I guess he's a good actually, I just said that. That was a reflex. I said he was a good actor because I hear other people say he's a good actor. That's what I mean when I say programming. We all just spout out programming. Eric Banya is celebrating a birthday. I don't know if Eric Banya is a good actor. I don't know what Eric Banya's ever done. I just know that he's famous. He did Munich, right? And didn't he play a Hulk at some point? Wasn't he one of the Hulks? Or isn't he currently the Hulk? I don't know. No, Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk now. I don't know. I have no idea. Happy birthday, Eric Banya. I've heard people say you're a good actor, but I don't know what's going on with you. Born on this day in 1970, Chris Cuomo, American lawyer and journalist, former CNN anchor, part of the Cuomo family. I got nothing else to say about him. Born on this day in 1970, Thomas Lennon, American actor and comedian. I love Thomas Lennon. Thomas Lennon is a guy who you can both see physically performing, but also you can witness all of his writing. Thomas Lennon is such a great screenwriter, especially for comedy. The majority of the best episodes of your favorite comedies from the last 10 years, you might be shocked to find Thomas Lennon's name attached to it. I guess he's most famous for Reno 911, right? I guess that's his primary thing. That's like his home base. Thomas Lennon was Sergeant Dingle, whoever the lead, the main guy, the top cop, the boss, the mustache guy who wore like the boy shorts, like really tight. Thomas Lennon is brilliant. I love Thomas Lennon. Born on this day in 1970. Happy birthday to you. Born on this day in 1983, the last birthday that we'll be celebrating. We talked about on the Pillow Talk show, which is the 9 p.m. show that we do every night here. Well, Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. We talked about the phenomena in Hollywood of Nepo babies. These are there's just a wave of children who are now ascending to stardom in Hollywood, who are the children of other former stars. They're nepotism. They basically, got their first auditions and they got their first breaks because their dad or mom is a famous, Hollywood celebrity. Dan Levy is celebrating a birthday today, 1983. Dan Levy is a Nepo baby. He is one of the Nepo babies that is named first and foremost as someone who has benefited from being the child of a star. Look, this is not a question or a conversation that I'm trying to instigate over merit. It's not it. Dan Levy, he got his shot. Dan Levy created Schitt's Creek, right? So one of the most beloved and applauded and critically acclaimed situation comedies of the last decade, to be sure. He created Schitt's Creek, and to be sure, he would have never been given the opportunity to create Schitt's Creek if his father, Eugene Levy, the comedy icon, if his father, Eugene Levy, didn't say, yeah, I'll star in it. Yeah, okay. So here's my kid. He's got this script for a show. Nobody in television wants to make this show because it's like, yeah, okay, you're unproven. We don't know who this is. Oh, what's this? Your very famous comedic father with a massive following, Eugene Levy, is going to star in it? All right, we'll make the show for you. And there you have it. Dan Levy, after one show, is now a monster. Nepotism? Yeah. Okay, yeah, but but in this case, I would argue that in defense of Dan Levy, nepotism got him to the party, but he was the most popular kid at that party. Once they let him in, he did it. He did the job. He made a show that everybody loves. So I guess sometimes nepotism is a bad thing. They don't all not deserve to be there. Some of them are like Dan Levy. Some of them get the door kicked open by a father, and then they prove that they belong there. So good for them. Some deaths. We've got some deaths on this day. All right, so let's go through these before we get into and run through the topics, the trends and high headlines and all the stuff that's happening today. Dead on this day in 1969, we already touched on Sharon Tate, American model and actress, murdered in the Tate LaBianco murders on this day in 1969. What was Sharon Tate in? I don't know what Sharon Tate was in. You ever seen Sharon Tate? I mean, I know we all know the name Sharon Tate, Sharon Tate. Have you ever actually seen Sharon Tate? Wow. I mean, she was really hot. She was a good looking woman. Holy cow. Sharon Tate died on this day in 1969. Manson murders. Dead on this day in 1995. This was a very big day for me in my early radio career. I was sent out into the streets, not into the streets. I was sent to a specific location. And I interviewed mourners on this morning in 1995. It was the day that Jerry Garcia, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist, leader of the Grateful Dead, he passed away. He was born in 1942, died in 1995. Now, a couple of nights ago, I talked about how I went to a Grateful Dead show once just to see it. Wasn't a fan of the Grateful Dead. Didn't really. It didn't look like a lifestyle that would have suited me. It didn't looked like there was lack of air conditioning a lot of places, a lot of sleeping on the ground, a lot of just, let's be honest, the Deadhead world, a lot of just sleeping wherever you happen to be when you fall asleep. That didn't appeal to me. But I did end up at a Grateful Dead concert just because they were playing in my hometown of Tinley Park, I grew up in a town called Orland Park, but Tinley Park was right next to it. And Tinley Park had this massive music theater, this sort of like, the big giant outdoor music venue with like 50,000 seats and double decker, that whole thing where like the big bands. Well, the Dead came through town and they played a couple of nights in Tinley Park, and the rolling caravan that travels with the Grateful Dead came through town and spent a good week in our town. So, and they were everywhere. Deadheads walking everywhere, Deadheads at the 7-Eleven, Deadheads, just crazy Deadheads everywhere. So we ended up going to a show. We ended up just going, whatever. We got off work. We're like, yeah, show's going on. And we knew, by the way, we knew people because we knew people who worked there because it was in our town. So we could just, we were delivering pizzas at the time. And I remember we just went over there and we took a whole bunch of pizzas and we sold pizzas to Deadheads in the parking lot. And then we actually just walked into the show and hung out on the lawn. On the lawn, and we watched a bunch of Deadheads, and that's where I decided that I didn't like the Grateful Dead. I went home. I think that was a Saturday night show. Yeah, I went home, did all of my stuff on Sunday, and then went to work on Monday. I was working as an intern producer on a radio show, also delivering pizzas at night. Worked at a radio show. Went in on Monday, and Jerry Garcia was dead. So yeah, that's right. I saw the last show that Jerry Garcia ever performed. I didn't pay attention to him. It wasn't like, I was like, oh, let's really focus on what the old guy in the beard is doing up front because he's going to be dead on Sunday night or Monday morning. But no, yeah, the last concert that the Grateful Dead ever played with Jerry Garcia was at Tinley Park, the World Music Theater. In 1995, he died 2 days later. And it was one of my first jobs to go out. There was a gathering of Deadheads early in the morning, and they were growing in Chicago. And cities all over, Deadheads just came out on the day that he died, and they just did candles and vigils. And there was one in Chicago, and Hippie Hill is what it was called in Chicago in Grant Park. And they were all out there, and I went out there. So I was on this day in 1995. Jerry Garcia died. On this day in 2008, this was a freaking shock. This was a shock because this is another guy, not another guy because I didn't know Jerry Garcia, but this is a guy that I knew. This is a guy that I knew well. This is a guy that used to come on our radio show all the time. He was a local Chicago comedian. He wasn't famous. He was just a regular guy in the early 1990s. I used to go see him at the Cotton Club in Chicago, which is this club on South Michigan with my buddy Doc. Bernie Mac guys remember Bernie Mac? Bernie Mac exploded in the late 90s and early 2000s. But long before that, he was the leader of the black comedy scene in Chicago, the South Side black comedy scene. They used to do this comedy show. Chicago had a comedy scene. They had the improv scene and all that, and then they had their stand-up comedy scene. But the stand-up comedy scene was all, the big names, the tours, and then it was very suburban based. Like it was, I'll put it this way, it's very white. It was very white, very suburban. The South Side of Chicago created their own comedy scene with a whole bunch of dudes, like names. Bernie Mac is obviously the biggest of the names that came out of that scene, but they used to do this weekly comedy show at this club called the Cotton Club, which is in the South Side of Chicago, which is an entirely black neighborhood. It's like, it's not like there were not a lot of white people in this crowd, but I used to go with Doc, who was my producer, who was the guy who used to do the sound for these things. So we got to meet Bernie. I mean, I knew Bernie Mac. I knew Bernie as Bernie. Okay, Bernie. I didn't think he was going to be famous. I just thought he was a comedian. You know what I mean? And then suddenly he blows up, and oh my God, I was so happy for that dude. That dude was such a good guy. Bernie Mac was such a worker, man. That guy worked his ass off, and nobody ever gave him anything. He earned everything that he made in Hollywood. Now, the best thing that happened to him, I think, was he hooked up with Steve Harvey, who at the time was a morning show guy in Chicago. He was at the urban station doing mornings. And Bernie Mac hooked up with Steve Harvey, and that's when his career really took off. But Bernie Mac died in 2008 of it's another one of these hard things, man. People just dropping. People just out of nowhere. They just drop. Ironically, a month. Oh God. A month before Bernie Mac died, wait, was it a month? It was around the same time. I want to say it was the guy who introduced me to Bernie Mac, my friend Doc, just died. Just same thing, just dropped dead of a heart attack while working a show. And he died, and then Bernie Mac died like a month later. Just shocking. He was so young. He wasn't young, but he was too young. Bernie Mac would have been something. Bernie Mac was about to do movies. Bernie Mac was beloved. There's not a person that met Bernie Mac that didn't just love that guy. That guy was just kindness, decency. He was so funny. He was so quick, so nice to everybody. Bernie Mac died on this day in 2008. Sorry, I love that guy. Dead on this day in 2015. This is after my big Bernie Mac spiel. Now we got to go into Frank Gifford. Frank Gifford died in 2015. Don't have a whole lot to say about Giff. Although, interestingly enough, we were just wondering whether or not Kathy Lee Gifford was married. Kathy Lee Gifford, of course, married to Frank Gifford. I don't know if she's alive or dead, but Frank Gifford is absolutely dead. Frank. All right, let's get into what's trending today. We'll run through these. We'll see how many we can. We should be able to get through all of these, I'm thinking. Why not? We ain't leaving until we get through all of them. I hastily threw together today's trends. So at the end of the show, we'll go back and we'll look at all the things that have started trending since, because I hastily threw these all together. Serena Williams is trending. Serena Williams has announced this by CBS Sports that she is retiring from tennis. Tennis superstar, greatest female tennis player of all time, greatest of all time. I don't know. Is she? Probably. Serena Williams, she's what's she going to do? She's going to play one more tournament, the US Open. Is that what it was? And then she's done. Let's see here. Serena Williams announces retirement plans. Tennis superstar is ready for what's next. Well, what's next? What's next for her? She going to do tennis play-by-play, or does she want to be Nicki Minaj? I mean, like, what do you mean, what's next? You're Serena Williams. You're pretty much going to be Serena Williams next for the rest of your life. Retired tennis great. Williams, whose pro career began when she was 14, has won 23 Grand Slam titles. One of the most prominent American athletes is ready to retire. Tennis legend Serena Williams announced her retirement plans Tuesday in a first-person essay in the latest issue of Vogue. Williams does plan to play in the 2022 U.S. Open, which starts later this month. She says, "It's the hardest thing that I could ever imagine," the tennis star told Vogue. "I don't want it to be over, but at the same time, I'm ready for what's next." In an Instagram post promoting the Vogue piece on Tuesday morning, Williams wrote, "I'm going to relish these next few weeks," insinuating that the U.S. Open, which begins on the 29th, will be her last tournament. I don't pay attention to tennis in general. Interestingly enough, though, if I do pay attention to tennis, this is the rare sport where I'm probably more familiar with women's tennis than I am with men's tennis. Tennis is like that sport, right? Tennis and gymnastics. Figure skating too, maybe. Tennis, gymnastics, figure skating are like the three sports where I'm probably more familiar with the top tier of the female participants in those sports than anything else. Serena and her sister Venus. I remember when Venus broke on the scene. And Venus was first, right? Because that's the name that I seem to remember. Venus was a superstar. Venus Williams. She came out of nowhere. And then her little sister Serena just started to emerge over time. And at some point, Serena passed Venus and Serena became the one. And then there was no more which one is it, Serena or Venus. It just became Serena's the good one and Venus is the one that's not quite as good. Even though Venus is like one of the great tennis players of all time as well, or just not as good as her little sister. Also trending today, there's an Anne Heche update. We talked about this one yesterday. Anne Heche went a little bit nuts and started driving her car around a Venice Beach neighborhood over the weekend at excessive speed. She ultimately drove her car into a house where it burst into flames. She was originally reported on Saturday through her representatives. Yeah, Anne Heche still has representatives. I don't understand what that's about. But through her representatives, they said that she was in stable condition and she was she's going to be fine. She's going to survive. That rep got fired on Monday, and a new rep for Anne Heche was hired in her place, and she put out a completely different story. And maybe this is why the original rep was fired, because they put out wrong information, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. But this new rep says that Anne Heche is in extremely critical condition. She is comatose. She has not awoken. We saw the video. We saw the helicopter video from when Anne Heche was being put in the ambulance, where she popped out. Right, she was on the stretcher. They were loading her into the ambulance, and then all of a sudden, you see the sheet from the stretcher get thrown, and you see someone pop up and start to fight with the ambulance workers as they're put her in the EMTs as they put her in the back of the. So I mean, she looked alive there, but apparently, it went sideways real quick. It says here, Anne Heche is in extremely critical condition, remains in a coma following fiery car crash. Anne Heche's condition is far graver than it appeared over the weekend, a rep for the Emmy-nominated actor told Deadline. At this time, Anne is in extreme critical condition. She has a significant pulmonary injury requiring mechanical ventilation and burns that require surgical intervention. The rep said in a statement, she's in a coma and has not regained consciousness since shortly after the accident. She has a significant pulmonary injury. I think that's similar to what I had a couple of years ago. Myocardio concussion, contusion, something. I don't know. It's when your heart gets hit. It's like happens a lot in falls from great heights or people who are jostled about in car accidents. So it's not a heart attack. It's just like someone punched you in the heart really hard. And now your heart's all bruised. And that's a problem because you can't have clotting in the heart. So Anne Heche's condition is far graver. She has suffered a significant pulmonary injury. She is on ventilation. She has burns that require surgical intervention, the rep said. So there you go. Anne Heche updates. Olivia Newton-John died yesterday. This is a very big deal. Olivia Newton-John, big deal if you're from the 80s. We talked about it last night on Pillow Talk. A great beauty. A timeless one. Here's something, and I hate to do this. She's a lovely lady. So I was listening to some Olivia Newton-John last night. Just trying to be like, okay, let me just listen to her now that she's dead. And here's something that I'm not sure about. If you had two categories, okay, her beauty and her singing talent, okay, where would this be? This is how I was listening to her, because I'm looking at pictures and I'm listening to some of her music and I'm like, oh my God, Olivia Newton-John was beautiful. She was like an angel. She looked like this, like, this perfect. Anyway, so like her beauty is up here, right? So that's why, like, when she came into the music producer's office, or what was the first thing the music producer thought? Did he hear her voice on a tape and go, "Get me that girl, that girl sings awesome," and then he saw her and her looks matched her vocal talents? Or was it just he saw her and then said, "Can you sing?" And she said, "Yeah," and then we heard her sing and her vocal talent is like, beauty is up here. Basically, it's a long way for me to say I think that she got famous because she was really pretty. She's not that great of a singer. Olivia Newton-John, I'm listening, and I'm like, she can sing. She can sing. She can sing like a normal person who you would go, oh, that person can sing. But is she Mariah Carey? Is she Whitney Houston? You know what I mean? Is she? I don't think she was. I really don't. I hate to say, beautiful and iconic female of the 70s and 80s, to be sure, super important. I just, for the first time ever, I was like, I don't think she's that great of a singer. It's kind of screechy. It's kind of, let's see here. John Travolta has just posted about Olivia's passing, saying, "My dearest Olivia, you made all of our lives so much better. Your impact was incredible. I love you so much. We will see you down the road and we will all be together again. Yours from the first moment I saw you and forever. Your Danny, your John." Well, that's nice. She was 73 years old. Let's see. Olivia Newton-John, who soared to international stardom as both a singer and a movie star, has died. Olivia's husband, John Easterling, says she died peacefully at her ranch in Southern California Monday morning, surrounded by family and friends. Olivia has battled breast cancer for more than 30 years. A specific cause of death was not given, although a source close to Olivia told TMZ that after 30 years of her cancer journey, she lost her battle to metastatic breast cancer. So there you have it, 73 years old. Olivia Newton-John. Also, another major Hollywood player has passed away. Burt Fields died. Burt Fields, major Hollywood player, but from the other side of things, Burt Fields was an entertainment lawyer. He was the guy, man. I'm telling you, if you were a celebrity and mostly money, not so much scandal, but mostly like money deals. Like if somebody was screwing you out of some money, you would go and you would get Burt Fields. And Burt Fields was the big Hollywood. Burt Fields dies. Powerhouse showbiz lawyer for Tom Cruise, the Weinsteins, George Lucas, Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and many others, was 93 years old. Dude, look at that client lineup. He's Tom Cruise, the Weinstein Company, although I'm sure that he backed away from that. George Lucas, Star Wars, he's Star Wars lawyer. Michael Jackson's financial and business lawyer. The Beatles, he's the Beatles lawyer. This guy was a big deal. Burt Fields, the relentlessly loyal powerhouse entertainment lawyer who repped clients from Harvey and Bob Weinstein to Tom Cruise, George Lucas, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and many others in myriad headline-making cases in Hollywood, has died at 93. A partner at Greenberg, Glusker, Fields, Clayman, and Matchinger, Fields tried many of the landmark cases in the entertainment and communications industry during the past several decades. He represented most major Hollywood studios and talent agencies during his singular career, and such other bold-faced names as Jeffrey Katzenberg, David Geffen, James Cameron, Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman, Mike Nichols, Jerry Bruckheimer, Joel Silver, Madonna, Mario Puzo, James Clevel, Tom Clancy, and Clive Cussler. And the dude, I don't know who Clive Cussler is. Apparently he's an author. Anyway, Burt Fields, dead at 93 years old. Crazy powerful and influential Hollywood attorney. Crazy. We like to keep track of Ezra Miller around these parts. Ezra Miller is, of course, the Flash. We started tracking. We first tagged Ezra Miller a couple of months ago when he started. He announced that he was. How do I say this? As a 50-year-old man, I want to say it properly, but the world is changing. I don't know, like last November or something, he started demanding that he was non-binary. That's what it is, non-binary. So he wanted to be referred to as they, and that raised a lot of eyebrows. They're like, okay, so now the Flash is a they, them. Not a problem. Again, changing worlds. We can all get used to it. It's a they, them. Then he started getting arrested. Then, like, for months, it was like every couple of weeks, the Flash, Ezra Miller, was getting arrested in Hawaii, no less. He got arrested like 3 times in Hawaii in a week. And, it kind of calmed down because they were like, DC was like, yeah, look, we can't have you be the Flash. The Flash is a good guy. You're like getting in a lot of trouble, and this is for kids. You're really making problems for us, Ezra. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll be cool. And there was a lot of talk that Ezra Miller, who is the movie version of Flash, was going to lose his gig, and they were going to give it to the television version of Flash. There's a television show, Flash, too, and there's a guy who plays the Flash on TV, and to the best of our knowledge, he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't get arrested 3 times in Hawaii. So DC is like, well, maybe we just elevate TV Flash to the movie Flash, and we just forget about the movie Flash. So that's the way it was looking. But then Ezra was kind of like on good behavior for a couple of weeks. So I think DC went, okay, you know what? We can't support 2 Flash projects. So let's just move forward with the movie Flashes and let's cancel the TV Flash. So now TV Flash is out of a job. TV Flash went from, being on the verge of getting his big break in movies to now being out of a job because Ezra Miller didn't get arrested for 2 straight weeks. So it's like, oh, he was good for 2 weeks? Okay, let's go all in on Ezra Miller as the new Flash. And then they announced they were canceling the TV series and they were moving forward with the Flash movies with Ezra Miller. Now, good Flash, good TV Flash, he's out of work. I don't know. He's auditioning for soap operas this week because, nothing that he was promised a month or 2 ago, it seems to have come to fruition. He's now completely out of work. And Ezra Miller, they're like now going all in on Ezra Miller as the new Flash. Oops, because Ezra Miller has now gotten in trouble again. Ezra Miller is back in the news. This time, this one is this a little bit more serious than just being drunk? Yeah, Flash star Ezra Miller charged with felony burglary in Vermont. Okay, so he's moved from Hawaii. He's like, it's too hot here in Miami. The fuzz is all over me. I got to go and I got to be a miscreant somewhere else. So he goes to Vermont. Ezra Miller, the embattled star of the Warner Brothers Flash movie franchise, has been charged with felony burglary in Stanford, Vermont, according to a Vermont State Police report. According to the police, Vermont State were notified of a burglar. Okay, so now it's the residents. Police found that several bottles of alcohol were taken from the residents while the homeowners were not present. After collecting statements and looking at surveillance videos, police found probable cause to charge Miller with felony burglary in an unoccupied dwelling. He broke into a house and stole their booze. The Flash, Warner Brothers' big ticket movie star of The Flash, has now moved from Hawaii, where he's getting in trouble for drunken fights and drunken, vandalism and all that kind of stuff, where he's getting in trouble in Hawaii. He has now moved to Vermont, and he seems to be doing it all over again. Police located Miller on August 7th. That was 2 days ago. Police located Miller on August 7th at 11:23 p.m. and issued them a citation to appear in Vermont Superior Court on September the 26th for arraignment. According to a Rolling Stone investigation back in June, Ezra Miller has been housing a 25-year-old mother and her 3 children, who are between the ages of 1 and 5, at his home in Stamford, Vermont. The property doubles as an unlicensed cannabis farm. How does Rolling Stone and now all of us here, how do we all know he's running an unlicensed cannabis farm? Doesn't an unlicensed cannabis farm sound like something that shouldn't be in operation? That sounds illegal. Okay, but we're just talking about it like it's not. Doubles as an unlicensed cannabis farm and has several firearms on the premises, according to the report. So what? One source who spoke to Rolling Stone alleged that the 1-year-old child was found with a loose bullet in her mouth. This guy's a train wreck. This guy. Good for you, Warner Brothers. You doubled down on the movie star a-hole. And now you're stuck with a Flash who's just a perpetual troublemaker. All right, so that's why Ezra Miller's trending. He's in trouble again. What are they going to do? Okay, this next one. I don't want to do this next one. I don't want to do this next one. This next one, I can't do this next one. I can't do this next one. I can't do this next trend. I can't. Don't even want to talk about it. I can't believe this is happening. We have so little to look forward to. So little to look forward to. Roquan Smith is trending. Roquan Smith, my linebacker. I'm a Chicago Bear fan, and we have absolutely nothing this year. The best thing that we have is our established middle linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the game. Although, for some reason, his statistics do not equal the amount of love that he gets. He is one of the most overlooked studs in football. But whatever, it's okay. It'll come. It'll come. He's still young. Roquan Smith of the Chicago Bears is trending because Roquan is now demanding a trade. Oh, God, Roquan! Quan, what are you doing, Quan? We love you, Quan. You're such a nice guy. Oh, my God, you're the heir apparent. Roquan, do you know what you are? Let me talk to Roquan Smith right now. You play middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears has produced two things in the history of the NFL: elite running backs and elite middle linebackers. You are the heir apparent to Bill George. Bill George invented the position, to Dick Butkus reinvented the position, to Mike Singletary, the Samurai, those eyes in the 1980s. Lawrence Taylor and Mike Singletary, they were the two linebackers of the 80s. Brian Urlacher in the 2000s, and now Roquan Smith. That's you. That's the lineage, Roquan. Bill George, Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, and now you, Roquan. And you want to walk away from that heritage because the Bears are screwing it up again. This is seriously, he's okay. One, he's not going to be traded. He's demanding a trade. He's not going to be traded. They're going to sign him. They're going to give him all the money that he deserves. He deserves the money. He's got 1 year left. He's got 1 year left on his rookie deal, okay? Now would be the time to make him a very wealthy young man. Make him a wealthy young man. You're not going to let him walk after one. He's one of the elite linebackers in the league. He can play all over. He can play sideline to sideline. He is a sack machine on a blitz. He's unstoppable. Are you insane? So I woke up this morning and I saw Roquan Smith trending and I went, oh my God. Well, he's not practicing. He has not been practicing because of this situation, but he is showing up. He's there on the sidelines. He's with his team. He's still basically the leader of the defense, just going now today. So I knew it wasn't an injury. I knew when I saw Roquan Smith trending today, it wasn't an injury. I had hoped, because I'm an optimist, I had hoped that maybe this was news that he signed a deal and he was back in pads today. And today was going to be the first day of full pads. Nope, it's even worse than that. He's demanding a trade. Chris Sale is also trending today. Chris Sale, Boston Red Sox. Chris Sale is hurt again. Chris Sale is, again, this would be just a couple of sports things. These things are trending, so we just talk about whatever's trending. We don't do sports, although I am a sports fan. This is not a sports show, but these are two subjects that are trending right now on multiple platforms. So Chris Sale, so again, I'm a White Sox fan. Chris Sale was my pitcher. Chris Sale was a great pitcher for the White Sox. And when we decided that we were going to go full in on a rebuild, Chris Sale was the pitcher that we traded to the Boston Red Sox for everything that they had in their minors. We just basically took all of their best minor league players, and we gave them our elite ace, Chris Sale. So the Boston Red Sox got our elite ace, and we got Yoan Moncada and Michael Kopech and a whole bunch of other pieces that are now everyday studs on the White Sox. So we're fine. We're fine with that trade. That trade is great. Worked out well for the White Sox and has not worked out at all for the Boston Red Sox. Chris Sale has been hurt since we traded him to the Red Sox. He has given the Red Sox almost nothing. One of the great arms in modern baseball, and Chris Sale just can't stay healthy. He lost an entire season with TJ. Then he had a knee issue the year before that. Then he had all kinds of throwing stiffness and all that stuff. So Chris Sale is back. Chris Sale is healthy. Chris Sale is ready to start throwing for the Boston Red Sox. And guess what happens to Chris Sale? He's out for the season because he fell off his bike. That's right. Chris Sale fell off his bike. Another injury. Red Sox ace Chris Sale to miss rest of season after breaking wrist in bike accident. Chris Sale's 2022 season is over after the Boston Red Sox announced that he underwent successful surgery on Monday to repair a broken wrist he suffered in a biking accident over the weekend. The team confirmed he'd miss the rest of the season, but that he'd be ready to start spring training next year. This is like the fourth year in a row they've told Red Sox fans he'll be ready to go next year. This is just the most recent in a string of serious injuries for Sale since he signed a 5-year, $145 million extension with the Red Sox in 2019. Sale missed the end of the 2019 season with left elbow inflammation, then underwent Tommy John surgery before the 2020 season that knocked him out until August 14th of 2021. Sale then missed most of the beginning of this season with a right arm and rib stress fracture before finally returning to the active roster on the 12th of July. But after 2 games, Sale has now suffered a fractured. After 2 games when he returned on July 12th, he then suffered a pinky injury in a game against the New York Yankees that required surgery. He was expected to finally return in September, but now he fell off his bike and broke his wrist. So it's a broken pinky and a broken wrist. Oh, my God. Sale has 2 years left on his 219 extension worth $55 million. I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't with the Chris Sale. All right. Here's some creepy, weird news. So here's a band that I don't know if you guys know about. I come from the 80s, and this band used to tour around Chicago. I know I've seen them. I don't remember them. I don't remember who I've seen them with. I've probably seen them on multiple bills, like in the 90s. You ever heard of the band Teenage Head? Teenage Head. Get it? Oh, yeah, Teenage Head. Teenage Head. Teenage Head's a punk band, a Canadian punk band. They used to tour around the Great Lakes region a lot. I know who I saw them with. I saw them with the Bare Naked Ladies. No, it wasn't with the Bare Naked Ladies. No. It was with the Misfits in Milwaukee, I think. Anyway, Gord Lewis, the lead guitarist and founder of the seminal Canadian punk band Teenage Head, he's dead. Gord Lewis has died. Gord Lewis apparently was killed by his son, which, this is, let's get into this story. Teenage Head guitarist Gord Lewis has died, this according to the band. One of the founding members of Canadian punk rock band icons Teenage Head has died. The Hamilton, Ontario band confirmed the death of Gord Lewis, who was the founding guitarist of the band. We are heartbroken and still trying to process the loss of our friend, bandmate, and brother Gord Lewis, they wrote. Our hearts are with his family and all that knew and loved him. Gord was a force and an inspiration to many. You were taken from us far too soon. It's not yet known how the 65-year-old died. His son. It's being speculated that his son killed him. So there you go. That's not good. And then there's a whole bunch of outpouring of rock musicians. A gigantic loss to the Canadian musical landscape, and an even bigger one for the Hamilton punk rock scene. While Teenage Head became popular in the 80s, they still perform now and had an upcoming show scheduled later this month in Winnipeg. All right, so there you have it. So for all of you punkers out there, Gord Lewis of Teenage Head has passed away. Excuse me. All right, what else do we have here? Lance Armstrong is trending. Lance Armstrong, apparently he's getting married. Good for him. Lance Armstrong. Cheater, liar. You got caught, you doubled down, you cheated in the face of everybody, and we all want you're lying, and now you're Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong weds longtime fiancée Anna Hansen in France. Love of my life. We talk a lot about falls from grace. Has there been a larger fall from grace than O.J. Simpson? O.J. Simpson was adored. He was beloved. Running through airports. Remember, he used to do the Hertz, commercials. He was beloved. Then he murdered a bunch of people, and now it's like, screw that guy. He fooled us. Going back to Whitney Houston, she fooled us too. Remember, Whitney Houston was supposed to be like this good girl, this nice girl, this Christian girl. She wore sweaters, and she didn't dress like a... And then Whitney Houston turned out to be a crazy party girl. Lance Armstrong had a fall from grace, boy. Lance Armstrong was the golden boy. Lance Armstrong was like the all-American example of, work hard, and he overcame cancer. And anybody touched by cancer was like, Team Live Strong, right? I mean, that was a big thing. And now he's hated because he's a liar and a cheater. Lance Armstrong weds longtime fiancee Anna Hansen in France. Love of my life, he says. The former 7-time Tour de France winner. Really? Are we still calling him a 7-time Tour de France winner? The former 7-time Tour de France winner tied the knot in an intimate ceremony with close friends and family. There's a nice picture of Lance and his new bride. And she is, of course, a babe, a beautiful, tall, blonde babe. So that's all still working out for him. Woodstock 99 is trending. So Woodstock 99 is trending. And I happen to be an expert on Woodstock 99 for no other reason than my 13-year-old son has become obsessed with the story of Woodstock 99. About a year ago, I caught my kid watching some HBO Max documentary about Woodstock 99. About a year ago, a documentary came out on Woodstock 99. And my kid was fascinated by it. He loved it. And so now there's a new, is it Hulu or Netflix? I don't know, whatever. I think it might be Netflix. There's a new Netflix series also about Woodstock 99. It's a docuseries just about how that entire concert event was just such a cluster F. And if you remember Woodstock 99, that's where all the fires broke out and people were raped. It just became hell. It just became absolute hell by the final night. So my son is like fascinated by it. He knows all about it and he reads everything online about Woodstock. I don't know. It's just the strangest thing. I don't know why this has really become a subject that he's fascinated by, but it is. So I've watched all the stuff with him, and now Woodstock 99 is trending. And by the way, the new Netflix this weekend. Oh God. So this weekend he's like, Dad, I want to watch the Woodstock 99 thing. Let's watch that at night. So at night when we're laying in bed, we watched the 3-part, I think it's 3-part, 3-hour-long episodes. So over the past like 6 days, we watched those 3-hour-long episodes from the new Netflix Woodstock 99 series, docuseries. And then he goes, Dad, I want to go back and watch the HBO series now. Now that we've seen this, I want to go back and watch the HBO documentary, the HBO Max. I'm like, okay, fine. So we segue right into that. It's been a year. We saw it a year ago. And now we've got all the source material from the Netflix series. So it's all fresh in our mind. So now let's go back and watch the HBO series. Let's just see. Anyway, we watched them both. They were both fantastic. They're really good. They're interesting. If you remember at all Woodstock 99, this will bring back a lot of memories. So it's good. If you like docuseries and you like, like if you're into like the whole Fire Fest kind of thing and all that, then you'll like the Woodstock stuff. Forget Fire Festival. Woodstock 99 was the original masterclass in how not to organize a large-scale music event. Beyond just pissing off a bunch of rich kids with shoddy accommodations and lackluster sandwiches, the orchestrators of Woodstock 99 failed to factor in basic requirements, such as security, sanitation, public welfare, drinking water. There was no drinking water. It was like 90 degrees. And they were selling water for like $12 a bottle in 1999. Yeah, no, it was bad. Anyway, there's problems now because Woodstock 99 rape survivors deserve more than a free 5-minute mention. There is a lot of talk in the new Netflix series about all the raping that went on at Woodstock 99. A lot of people were just raped in the pit. And apparently people are criticizing the new Netflix series on Woodstock 99 for not taking that seriously enough, for not really spending enough time on it. I can tell you as somebody who watched it, the point was made. Are you suggesting that we just need a 3-hour 3-part docuseries on raping? Because there was a whole lot of stuff going on. Raping is terrible, but I think they did enough. I think we got the message. We understood. Okay. Now maybe you can do a whole docuseries about the people who were raped at Woodstock. Maybe that's something you could go ahead and do. This was just about how the entire thing was a cluster F. And yeah, when they got to the point of the way these crazy Kid Rock and Korn fan dude bros were behaving with women in the crowd, raping. There was literally women being held down and raped. Yeah, I think they covered it adequately. I think it was, look, I know the horrors of life. I understand. I don't need you to go into detail. I'm not stupid, okay? I don't need to sit there and have you go, and then he held her down. I don't need the blow by blow. I enjoyed it. Well, I mean, I enjoyed the docuseries just from a, wow, isn't that interesting? I didn't enjoy it from a standpoint of being a human being, watching the way other human beings act. That was not enjoyable, but it's good. And that's why it's trending, because people are criticizing the new Netflix series. I think it posted on Friday. I think it's brand new on Netflix as of Friday. Lamont Dozier is trending. We've got another death here. Lamont Dozier has died. Lamont Dozier is a Holland Dozier Holland. If you are a music fan of American music, then you know Holland Dozier Holland. They wrote just about every massive Motown hit song that has ever been written. Lamont Dozier was a god in the world of America. In the Great American Songbook, when it's all finished, Lamont Dozier is going to have an entire chapter just for all of the stuff that he did. As part of the incomparable songwriting team of Holland Dozier Holland, the Detroit native co-wrote some of Motown's most enduring songs. What songs did Lamont Dozier write? Let me give you, we don't have this here because apparently I don't get any more free articles from Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone just shut that article down in the middle of it. All right, let me see. I'll give you an example of some of the stuff that Lamont Dozier has written. Okay, let's see here. Composer. All right, discography. What do we want? Singles? Let's look at singles. Singles. Oh, wait. Okay, so these are songs that he sang on. No. I want stuff that he wrote. Holy cow. He wrote stuff all the way up until like 2004 for Josh Stone. He's been writing stuff. Well, come on, give me a list of his big songs. Member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jesus, all right. All the Martha and the Vandellas stuff. Who else did he do? Dozier was a member of the Holland Dozier Holland songwriting team and production team responsible for much of Motown's sound. Numerous hit records by artists such as Martha and the Vandellas, the Supremes, the Four Tops, the Isley Brothers. Dozier served as the team's musical arranger and producer, while Eddie Holland concentrated mainly on lyrics. Along with the Holland brothers, Dozier followed his work for Motown Records as a founder and owner of Invictus Records and Hot Wax Records, producing top charting hits for acts Frida Payne, Honey Cone, Chairman of the Board, and 100 Proof Age. So I don't know who they are, but I guess those are like he was into hardcore R&B, he was, but a lot of big hits. I can't think of any big hits. Lamont Herbert Dozier was an American singer, songwriter, and record producer from Detroit. He co-wrote and produced 14 number one hits. 14 number one hits this dude wrote. So there you have it, Lamont Dozier. Not a huge name, but man, did that guy make an impact. All right, and now for some reason I can't click out of Rolling Stone because they want me to pay. There we go. What is going on here? Oh, Alex Jones is trending because all those. Remember, Alex Jones's attorneys accidentally sent all of his phone records for the past 2 years to the plaintiff's attorneys in the Sandy Hook case, and now the plaintiff's attorneys have all of this stuff, and the January 6th community is like, "Hey, turn that over to us. We'd be interested in seeing 2 years worth of Alex Jones's text." Well, one of the things that they just found out that has been released today that might be a problem for Alex Jones is that he was apparently sending nude pictures of his wife, who is, I believe, now his ex-wife, in a very contentious sort of ex-wife kind of situation. Alex Jones was sending pictures of his ex-wife to Roger Stone. Naked pictures of his ex-wife to Roger Stone. And I don't know if she was his ex-wife at the time or what the timing is of this, but they found like a bunch of new. Alex Jones is sending pictures of his own wife to creepy old man Roger Stone. What the These are weird people, man. These are people who are into some weird shit. So anyway, Alex Jones is now looking at a revenge porn charge because his ex-wife is like, yeah, you can't do that. Violent charges. Now I'm going to sue him for an additional $10 million for the whole revenge porn thing, which is very big. So that's why Alex Jones is trending. Jones sent nude photos of wife to Roger Stone. Apparently, there was a big raid that occurred in Florida yesterday, but I have no interest in talking about that. How can that be all that I've prepared for today? Okay, that's all the stuff that I had prepared. I thought there was more. So let's now jump into some live trends. Let's see what's happening live. We'll use Twitter because that's the one. I don't prepare much with Twitter trends before the show because I find that Twitter trends aren't really that indicative of what people are really talking about. Twitter trends are indicative of what a very vocal and active portion of the Twitter sphere is interested in, which is why there's 10 columns of Korean pop bands trending on Twitter at any given moment, or wrestling. You know what I mean? Those are very specific groups of people who are focused and condensed on Twitter who are talking about a specific subject. And then it gets pumped up the trend lines and it looks like it's what everybody's talking about, but it's really not. So that's why I don't love the Twitter trends. But sometimes you find things like early, like things that are just popping off right now will trend on Twitter first. The immediacy of it is very good for Twitter trends. So let's look and see what we have here. Yeah, I don't know. This is I've got a buffering situation going on here. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why this isn't working. Let me close out a couple of these. Well, this show can't end early because I'm having some technical difficulties. Hold on. Let me reconnect to the internet. Let me reboot that. There we go. That's all it took. Just took a little bit of a reconnect. I just had to reconnect. At least I thought that's what was happening. Now it's buffering again. Okay. Sorry, folks, having a little bit of a technical issue here. I'm just here. I'll show you what's, well, it's just buffering. It's just, finally, there we go. I don't know why this is taking so long. All right, let's see what is trending. Trending number one right now, politics. It says politics. Ignore it. Andrew Yang is trending. I don't care what Andrew Yang has to say about anything. I'm not an Andrew Yang guy. Seems like a nice dude, but he also seems like a bit of an opportunist. So okay, so now that I've said it, what is Andrew Yang saying? Andrew Yang is trending right now because he says his thoughts about, Andrew Yang shares his thoughts about the FBI search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. All right. I don't care what Andrew Yang's thoughts are. I can imagine, isn't he he's like a lefty guy with a lot of money. He's like super liberal, but he's like got a lot of money and he tries to play both sides of it. So I don't know what. I don't even want to investigate that. Chris Sale is trending number 2 on Twitter. We just talked about that. Red Sox starter Chris Sale broke his right wrist in a bike accident, underwent season-ending surgery on Monday. The DOJ is trending. That's the Department of Justice. Obviously because of the situation with the president's house yesterday. Book Lovers Day. It's Book Lovers Day. Roquan. Here it is. Roquan. Oh my God, Quan. Ian Rappaport of NFL.com is reporting that Bears All-Pro linebacker Roquan Smith has requested a trade because, of course, he has. Serena Williams is trending. We already talked about that. Andrew Cuomo is trending. Who cares about him? Isn't he the nipple ring governor? Don't we not want to talk about him anymore? He can go to hell. Timo Werner has signed the contract as the new RB for Leipzig. I see again. This is Lamont Dozier. We just talked about Lamont Dozier. He passed away. Motown songwriter Lamont Dozier dies at 81 years old. Let's see. Crimea is trending. Blasts heard near the Russian airbase in Crimea. That's trending. Cobra Kai season 5. I watched like 4 episodes of Cobra Kai season 1 and I went, it's a pretty good show. Never went back. Didn't have a problem with Cobra Kai. I thought it was fine. But then, I don't know if I remembered I was 50. I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I watching Cobra Kai? I don't know what it was, but it seems a good show if that's your thing. Maya Hawke is trending. Maya Hawke, Do Revenge. That's the name of a new movie. Do Revenge. It's the name of a new movie. Do Revenge trailer shows Maya Hawke and Camila Mendez out for vengeance in Netflix thriller. Maya Hawke, another. We talked about Dan Levy as being sort of a poster boy for the Nepo baby movement in Hollywood, when the Nepo baby movement is all of these uh, second, third, and in some cases, fourth and fifth generation Hollywood celebrity names now becoming stars themselves. Dan Levy, the son of Eugene Levy. We talked about him. Maya Hawke. Maya Hawke is another one. And here she is. Look at her. Maya Hawke is trending. Would Maya Hawke be trending at 21 years old if her dad wasn't Ethan Hawke and her mom wasn't Uma Thurman? I don't know. I don't know that Maya Hawke would. Nepo baby. There you go. Maya Hawke. Chips and Science Act is trending. This is important stuff. I mean, nothing that registers with us, but it's kind of important for us. The Chips and Science Act is going to inspire a whole new generation of Americans to answer that question. What's next? We're leading the world again for the next couple of decades. I don't know. Have you seen Chinese kids? Chinese kids. Look, I live with a 13-year-old. My 13-year-old is a straight A student in an American middle school. Straight A's. He only gets A's. He is a middle school student. Straight A's. And I think he's a smart kid. My kid's very smart. He's very witty. He's very quick. He does his homework. But, he does what they give him to do, and he does it well, and he gets straight A's. Did I mention he's a straight A student? I'm very proud of my kid. He's a straight A student. I wouldn't bet on my kid against my kid's going into the 8th grade. I would not bet on my kid in a match of schoolwork against a 5th grade Chinese kid. I wouldn't. My kid is in 8th grade. He's a straight A American student, and I think that a 5th grader in China would probably be able to kick his ass as far as math, science, that kind of thing. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about where we're going as far as educating our kids. My kid is very smart, but I look at these Chinese kids. Oh my God, did you see this? Here, I'll show you this. This is something, since we're here at the end of times. Here, I saw this. I thought this was funny. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Oh, here's something I can show you. Here, I'll show you this. This is good. Look at this. Hold on. Let me give you a couple of things. Some things didn't make the cut for the show today. But why not? We got a little bit of time here at the end. Hold on. All right. Just bear with me. We'll just hang out. We'll go through a number of these things. You know what? I don't think I can find it. I don't think it's. Oh, here it is, and I found it. Okay, all right. So this is watch this. This is something that was trending over the weekend. This is a television game show in Nigeria. Okay, so here let's watch this. Oh, here. Sorry, didn't realize I needed to do this. I mean, my kid, again, I'll say it again. My kid is a straight A student in an American middle school. And I'm very proud of him. He can't get anything higher than an A, so I can't be upset. He did what was required of him, and he got the top marks. He got the A's. But I don't know. I see stuff. I see kids from other countries doing stuff, and I'm like, what? My kid couldn't do that. All right, so here, let's look at this. This is this Nigerian? Figure out what this is, what country this is from. Oh, gosh, hold on. The internet is working very slow around these parts today, so I do apologize. Now, granted, this is anecdotal, and this, you'd say, well, it's not representative of all kids in Nigeria. Look at this. This is a Nigerian kid. I don't know. He's probably like 10 years old or something. I don't know how old he is. This is a TV show in Nigeria. This is a TV show. This is what they watch for entertainment in Nigeria, while our kids are watching 3-second clips of people getting kicked in the nuts on YouTube over and over again. This is what kids in Nigeria are watching.
All right, make sure you speak up so I can hear your answers. I wish you all the best. Abdul Qayyum Ali, are you ready?
Yes, good master.
I wish you all the best. Your cowbell people.
It's a kids' game show based on math. There's no trivia. There's no silly. It's just math. And apparently this is a very popular show in Nigeria.
Yeah, 60 seconds of fame starts now. If 8y minus 3y is equals to
1.
Correct. If x minus
12.
Correct. Simplify z raised by 5.
0 square minus 2.
Correct. Simplify b squared plus b divided by
B plus 1.
Correct. If 7 over 8 is x over 64.
56.
Correct. Solve the equation x equals to 9 plus x.
1.
Correct. Solve for r in r over 20 is equals to 4.
10.
Correct. Simplify 3a plus 18b.
3 is bracket A plus 6b.
Correct. Factorize the expression a, b, x.
Ax is bracket B minus C.
Correct. Solve for x and 3x over 15 is equals to
25.
Come again?
25.
Correct. Evaluate the square root of x.
3 over 4.
Correct. Find the common factor in the expression 16p minus 4p squared.
4p.
Correct. Simplify 3x minus 2y. Correct. Simplify 8y minus 2y minus 4y minus 8 plus 2.
2y minus 6.
Correct. Simplify
X plus y minus z.
Correct. Simplify p over p plus q.
1 over 1 plus q.
Correct. Factorize 3p minus 24p.
3p is bracket 1 minus 8p.
Correct. Simplify minus 14ny minus 8nz.
Minus 14ny plus 8nz.
Correct. Well done.
Look at
Mr. Ali, can you do that again with your head? It's hot, Abby. Well done. Ernest?
All right, and now Ernest, look at Ernest. Ernest is like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can do that. All right, so that is how people in Nigeria are preparing their children for whatever comes next in life. I'm telling you, they are coming for us. Meanwhile, let's go to the Galleria, shall we? Let's go to the Galleria right here in Dallas and show how we American grown-ups are preparing our children for whatever comes next in life. Here's some back-to-school shopping at the Dallas Galleria. This is how we do it in America. Back-to-school shopping at the Galleria. Kid over in Nigeria. He doesn't have clean drinking water. I'm telling you, man. The rest of the world is coming for us. The rest of the world is coming for us unless we get our handle on whatever the hell it is we're doing to educate our kids. All right, so there you go. That's that. What else is trending? Let's see. What else do we have here? How about that kid, though? How about that freaking kid? That kid doing math. I didn't even understand. I never got that far. He's not. Look, unless that kid is like going to build rockets and, telecom satellites and all that kind of thing, he's not going to need any of that stuff. I don't need to know any of that stuff. Of course, if I did know some of that stuff, I might have a much better job. I might, maybe knowing that stuff is good. I don't know. I can tell you that my kid, who gets straight A's in an American middle school, he looked at that, he watched that video, and he was like, oh my God. I go, I know. I go, what's going on there? He's like, that kid's smart. I go, yeah, that kid's smart. It's not that he's smart. That kid's been educated. That kid has been somebody made education a serious priority. Somebody made math a serious priority in that kid's. And that's what math is the unifying thing in life. I sucked at math. I hated math. You know what I hated about math as a kid? I was a creative. I was more about let's just make something up and see if people like what we've made up. Let's create something out of whole cloth. It doesn't exist. Now it doesn't. That's what I was interested in when I was learning. Math bored the hell out of me because it was an absolute. Because there was no room for creativity in math. It was, you do it this way. It was an exercise. It was work. It was like, we know what we're trying to get to. We know what the answer is. So now let's do these steps to get to the answer that we already know we're looking for. That's math. That bothered me. Me? Can we just draw for an hour? Look at the pretty picture that I made. Isn't that awesome? Oh, what a pretty picture he drew. Do you know math? I don't know math. Okay, good luck selling those pretty pictures. I don't know math. I don't know math. All right, what else is happening? And you don't know math either. Well, some of you do. Some of you are really good math people because you're math jobs. You got math jobs. If you got math jobs, you're good at math. This is not a math job. Taco Tuesday is trending. Don't kid. Rob Walton is trending. Breaking now, trending right now. The Denver Broncos are officially under new ownership. NFL owners unanimously approved Rob Walton's group as the new owners of the Denver Broncos. He's one of the Walmart people. So, All right, let's go over to what should we jump into? Should we jump into Google Trends? Let's see what's happening on Google Trends. Google Trends, man, that's a roller coaster ride because there is everything on Google Trends, from the most nonsense little issue that like if a small town in Alabama is all a tizzy about something, it'll show up on Google Trends because those people from that small town. Google Trends are what I use to put the show together for the most part because it's the most stuff, but it's like a needle. There's a lot of nonsense on here. So again, trending number 1 on Google Trends right now, Anne Heche, MSNBC, is trending at number 2. Transcript of Pelosi interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe is circulating. Okay, don't know why it needs to circulate. If it was an interview she did on TV, you could just watch the interview, but okay. Famed Japanese designer Issey Miyake dies at 84. I don't know who that is, but he is currently trending at number 3 on Google. Roquan Smith. Would you stop making Roquan Smith trend? He's going to sign a deal. They're going to sign a deal. Oh, I can't believe Chris Sale is trending. John Travolta is trending because of his tribute to Olivia Newton-John. All right, let's go to real time. Let's see what is trending right now. Real time. Virus. China. Deja flu. China sounds the alarm as 35 people fall ill with newly identified. Oh, we've got a new variant? Is a new variant dropping in China? Maybe. Let's keep an eye on that. Uma Pemoraju. Uma Pemoraju is trending. Original Fox News Channel anchor Uma Pemoraju dies at 64. I don't know who that is. I don't know what Uma Pemoraju. Is that a man or a woman? I got to click on it. I got to click on it. I don't know if Uma Pemoraju is a man or a woman. It was the first Fox News anchor. We are deeply saddened, Fox News Media CEO Susanna Scott said in a statement on the passing of. All right, here we go. Founding Fox News Channel anchor Uma Pemoraju has died at age 64. Pemoraju was on the air when Fox News launched on October 7th, 1996. Yeah, we don't need that. Pemoraju was on the air when Fox News launched on October 7th, 1996. At the time, Pemoraju was one of the only Indian-American anchors to reach national prominence, and she was beloved by viewers and Fox News colleagues alike. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I do not know who this woman is. She's a woman. She's a beautiful woman. At least in 1996, she was beautiful. A woman of color. The very first Fox News anchor was a woman of color. She's black. She definitely looks like she's got some African American, but definitely also some Indian or maybe Pakistani. I don't know. It doesn't say. From that part of the world. Pemoraju first anchored Fox News Now and Fox on Trends. She left the network but rejoined in 2003 as an anchor and substitute host. Okay, well, she has passed away. That is, I don't know who that is, but that is popping off right now. Let's see. Mekhi Becton is trending. Don't talk about the New York Jets. Montana State University, Billings. Billings is on lockdown. Okay, 1 hour ago. Montana State University alerts of potential gunmen coming on campus. Okay, this first posted an hour ago, and we haven't heard anything else other than this post of an hour ago. So that would lead me to think that nothing is happening. Okay, don't want that. Montana State University in Billings has lifted the lockdown. Yay! Montana State University in Billings has lifted the lockdown on campus after police did not locate a threat. The Billings Police Department said via Twitter the case is considered unfounded. Unfounded. There we go. All right. We'll run through a couple more of these and then because we're just, more Chris Sale. See, all this stuff, it's all the same stuff. There's nothing that has really got me interested. Now, as soon as we sign off, a whole bunch of good stuff will pop. Shit seems to pop between 3 and 6 o'clock at night. Marco Rubio, Lamont Dozier, Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's new skin-colored Beats Fit Pro earbuds let you okay, she's got her own Beats ear. Okay, I don't care. Amanda Seyfried is trending. Amanda Seyfried regrets uncomfortable nude scenes as a teen. Okay, I don't. Okay, that's fine. Potential trade destinations for Bears linebacker Roquan. Shut up with the potential trade destinations. If we're trading Roquan Smith, we are getting multiple first-round picks. That's it. That's what we want. Multiple first-round. We're not trading Roquan Smith. Jesus. He's 23, 24. He's like he hasn't even peaked out yet. He's been incredible. And he hasn't even shown everything that he can do yet. And did I mention he has been incredible and he still hasn't peaked out. We're not trading Roquan Smith. Roquan, stop it. Although I will say this about the Roquan Smith thing, because quite frankly, I could speak for an hour on this subject. It's driving me so nuts. He did in his statement today where he demanded a trade. He basically put out there that George McCaskey, the owner of the team, could step in and make everything fine. The other interesting thing about Roquan Smith that I loved in the beginning, although today I'm not loving quite as much, Roquan Smith, middle linebacker of the Chicago Bears, captain of the defense in the year 2022, does not have an agent. He represents himself. Now, before he made this demand to be traded today, I would have said, well, that is really indicative of the man that we have come to know and love, who is called Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith seems like a decent, smart, very on top of things kind of guy. He's exactly who you want for your middle linebacker. He's not a party boy. He doesn't, celebrate extensively. He doesn't get stupid penalties. He's not a dumb player. He's a smart player. He's quiet and he's in charge and everybody listens to him and he knows what's happening. So when it was revealed that he represented himself, we were all like, okay, I mean, Roquan's a pretty smart guy. He probably knows what he wants and he's not going to be stupid about it. Now I wish he had an agent, because Roquan, come on. Well, George McCaskey can step in and save it, he says. George McCaskey, step in and save it. Stop this. We've got a brand new GM. And Roquan is now dealing with a GM that didn't draft him. And, oh, my God. Again, you people don't care about this issue. I do, and I just can't believe it. Taylor Swift is trending. Taylor Swift and her mom clapped back against the Shake It Off plagiarism law. What is that? What's going on with Shake It Off? Is people saying that it's plagiarism? I don't know what that is. Turns out Taika Waititi is trending. Taika Waititi is trending with Rita Ora. Taika Waititi is one of my favorite creatives living, breathing, alive today. I love everything that spills out of Taika Waititi's head. Everything. I mean, he's just to me, he seems perfect. He just seems like a perfect dude. He's funny. For all intents and purposes, he's just a lovely chap. He's just like a really nice guy. Brilliant, makes me laugh. So he's hanging out or in a relationship with Rita Ora. I don't know who Rita Ora is. I know the name because the name sticks with you. It's an interesting name, but I don't know who Rita Ora is. So they're saying that Taika Waititi and Rita Ora got married. Again, I know who she is. I just don't know. Did Rita Ora and Taika Waititi get married? Stars spotted wearing gold bands on their ring fingers. The singer and the Thor Love and Thunder director. Oh, he's so much more than Thor Love and Thunder. He's... Jojo Rabbit. First of all, Jojo Rabbit is a perfect film. Jojo Rabbit is an absolutely perfect film. What We Do in the Shadows, the original New Zealand version, the documentary that was made in 2005, I want to say, What We Do in the Shadows, is the perfect comedy film. It is, I think, the funniest film ever made. Yeah, I said it. I am now completely in the corner of What We Do in the Shadows is the number one funniest movie I have ever seen. Taika Waititi has done way more than just the Thor movies. Although it should be noted that the best Marvel movies are directed by Taika Waititi. I love him. I think he's great. Did Rita Ora and Taika Waititi make things official? The Let You Love Me singer, is that one of her songs, I guess, 31, and the Thor Love and Thunder director, 47, were photographed with what appears to be gold wedding bands on their fingers in a recent social media shot. Reps for Ora and Waititi did not respond to people's request for comment. Ora and Waititi went public with their relationship last year after they were first linked back in April of 21, when Ora posted a photo of her and Waititi embracing. She captioned her post, "Good times, memories, random things on my phone, and the ones I love." I don't know. Fine-looking couple. Good-looking couple. Just so, they look, I hope they're happy. Look, hey, I just want Taika to keep cranking out the stuff that makes me smile. So there you go. It started out with Kate Bush running up that hill. She was given a second act, maybe, in her career because of Stranger Things. Metallica is experiencing the same thing. Metallica, let's see, why the Tucker tries to cancel Metallica following Stranger Things. So Stranger Things this season used a lot of music in it, and a bunch of kids who like Stranger Things are being exposed to a lot of music from the 1980s that they're thinking, well, as the kids say, slaps. And Metallica is now also experiencing what Kate Bush got to experience earlier in the summer. Everyone knows by now that Metallica have become a social media sensation following the appearance of Master of Puppets on season 4's finale of the Netflix show Stranger Things. The sudden boost in popularity made the band welcome all new fans to the Metallica camp. Yeah, like my 13-year-old loves Metallica. Probably because of the Stranger Things thing. Not because of me. I mean, I like Metallica, but Metallica isn't one of the bands that I exposed my kid to. Maybe at some point, we'll get into it. I don't have a problem with that. I like Metallica, but my kid did not get a Metallica appreciation from me. And now all of a sudden, Stranger Things puts Metallica in and now every 13-year-old in America is loving a bunch of 60-year-old men playing rage metal. The sudden boost in popularity made the band welcome all new fans to the Metallica camp, but some of them seem to not have wanted to stay for very long. As reported by Loudwire, TikTok user Serena Trueblood made the metal group the target of the latest installment of her Is Your Fave Problematic series. So this girl's got a series on TikTok called Is Your Fave Problematic? Like, does something you like suck? Or does something you like do something bad? Whatever. So what is problematic about Metallica in the eyes of a 13-year-old? I don't know. She looks at several musical artists past in search of possibly controversial situations. In her video, Trueblood calls out Metallica over several issues from the band's past, caught on photos or film, such as bassist Jason Newsted allegedly performing Nazi salutes on stage. Well, he's not in the band anymore. Jason Newsted hadn't been in Metallica in 15 years, so stop it. And even then, it wasn't like real Nazi stuff. It was like, hey, look, ironically Nazi. Metallica is not a pro-Nazi band. They're not. Stop it. Let's see here. Jason Newsted allegedly performing Nazi salutes on stage, or James Hetfield keeping body count off tour due to frontman Ice-T's race. Here are a few of the quotes from the video. Okay, so maybe if you're a 13-year-old kid in 2022 looking back at, and there was, Metallica did not want Ice-T's body count on tour with them. They didn't want to go on tour with Ice-T's body count. So if you were 13 years old in 2022 and you're just cherry picking things from a story from 1989 or 1990, maybe based on today's lens, you might go, well, obviously it's a race thing. Metallica didn't want body count going on tour with them because body count at the time was the most controversial band in America. Every time they stepped on stage, it would have overshadowed what the headlining band Metallica was doing, and it would have turned into the body count tour and not the Metallica tour. James Hetfield is not a racist. It wasn't about Ice-T being black. It was about Ice-T having a song at the time called Cop Killer, which was causing huge protests out in front of everywhere that body count played. It's not a black thing, but a 13-year-old today looking back on that who doesn't understand the context of what was going on might go, well, they didn't want him because I don't like that. I'm moving on from this. I don't want to know anymore. Hold on, somebody is Mr. Popular. All right, moving on from that. All right, you know what? That's good. We're good. There's nothing else. Let me jump back on Twitter real quick again and see if anything new has trended. Because like I said, the immediate stuff pops off on Twitter first, and then it falls away. And if it's got staying power, it sticks. Nope, nothing new. Nothing new that I can see. Okay. Yeah, no, there's nothing here. Okay, so we will be back tonight at 9 o'clock for Pillow Talk. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. If you can support the show, that would be great. We do exist on your kindnesses, your tips, your gratuities. Treat me like treat me like I'm your bartender. Treat me like I'm your whatever. You know what it is. If you can support the show, please do. Drop a little something in the coffers. You can do it down there at Cash App. You can do it down there with the Venmo, even PayPal. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Here's something I can mention. So last night after the Pillow Talk show, I was looking for something to watch. And I started watching the new series on Netflix called The Sandman. The Sandman on Netflix. Started watching it at like 10:20 last night. It's 10 episode new season 1. It's a new series. If you are familiar with the old Stars series, American Gods, this is by the same guy who created American Gods, so it's cool. And the Sandman is the story of the Sandman, the story, the guy who does our dreams and all that kind of stuff. And it's really good. It's really good, man. It is dark. It is kind of spooky. It is really cool. Like I said, I sat down last night after doing the Pillow Talk show at about 9 or 10:20, and I watched episode 1. I didn't move for another 4 hours. I ripped through the first 5 episodes last night. I went to sleep at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, that's not true. I fell asleep at some point during the end of episode 4 into episode 5, because I woke up and it was like in the middle of episode 5, so I know I got to go back. But man, if you're looking for something to watch, I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's really good. I'm really, really enjoying it. The Sandman on Netflix. It's again, I don't want to just say it's about the Sandman. It's not like a kid's thing. It exists. The reason that I said, if you're familiar with American Gods on Stars, it's the same guy, because it's in that vein. It's very. I don't know what else I could. I don't think many people saw American Gods on Stars, so I can't really compare it to that effectively. I don't think people know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. It's really good. He goes to hell. Like the Sandman has to go to hell, and because he's somebody stole the Sandman stuff. All right. All right, so here's basically the story. So the Sandman exists when we're all asleep, and he goes through our dreams, and he makes sure that the dream world is safe, and he makes sure that everything's good, and he's super powerful. He's more than a god. As they explain in this show, the Sandman and his brothers, he's got 7 brothers, which are 7 brothers and sisters, and they're all known as like the endless ones or whatever. They're more than gods because gods are a creation of human constructs. Humans create gods, whereas the Sandman, the Sandman's real name is what? Dream. Yeah, so he goes by Dream, and then he's got a brother named Desire, and then he's got another brother named I don't know, whatever. It's all of these things that encompass the human id and the spirit and all that things. So it's different than gods. They exist on a plane that's different than gods, although they are just as powerful as gods. So the Sandman gets trapped while he's out there doing his Sandman duties by some like amateur magician. And it's played by Tywin Lannister. You know, the old man from Game of Thrones, the top Lannister. So he's the magician who's screwing around because I think his wife died or something, or his son, and he's trying to bring his son back. So he figures he's going to try and trap death. So he found this old spell where he could trap death. You know, death, hammer and sickle, that guy. So he creates the spell to trap death, and he accidentally traps Dream instead. He doesn't get death. He actually gets the Sandman or Dream, and he keeps Dream trapped in his basement in like a cell for like 10 years. And in those 10 years, nobody can dream properly. There's a thing called sleep sickness where because the Sandman isn't going around checking on everybody, half the people in the world just don't wake up. They just stay asleep forever. And then Nightmare takes over the dream. Oh, it's so good. That's all. It's about that. And he goes to hell. He has to go to hell because when he got captured, they took all of his stuff. They took his equipment. They took his ruby. They took his special dream stuff. And they sold it. Somebody sold his stuff to a demon. So he has to go to hell. And he's got to broker a deal with the devil, who is played by Brienne of Tarth. That's right. There's a lot of Game of Thrones people in this. You know Brienne of Tarth? Brienne of Tarth plays Lucifer Morningstar. She's the ruler of hell. And they have a fight. Oh, it's great. I was in the middle of my closing thing, but there you go. That was my quick little review of the new Netflix show, The Sandman. I love it. I love it. I can smile a little now. Things are going good. Did I mention tip the show? Ain't nobody tipping the show lately. We're getting crushed around here. Say no more. It's fine. We'll all make it. We can all make it. We can all survive. Something will come up. We'll be good. Join us tonight at 9 o'clock for Pillow Talk. It's 2:01. I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar. That is all I need. I don't need no 401. I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I can smile a little now. Things are going good. I always had to be on guard. That is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest.
on a never-ending quest.